My name is Jim, believer in Jesus Christ that has struggled with methamphetamines, cocaine, and various other drugs and alcohol. I was raised by alcoholic parents who were emotionally detached from me. I grew up in Southern California. Drugs were readily available in the 70s and cheap. I turned to drugs and alcohol. Spent 25 years abusing chemical drugs, cocaine, methamphetamines, marijuana. October 1st, 2001, scary time in my life. After being awake about 6 days on a meth run, absolutely defeated, no hope in sight, I fell to my knees on my bedroom floor and put a gun in my mouth. I cried out to God, give me the strength to shoot myself. And I don't know what happened after that. I passed out. I woke up 2 days later, October 3rd, 2001, just bawling my eyes out. I don't know if you've ever cried in your sleep. It's just a traumatic thing. Very, very hard to wake up to that. I got on the phone. I called my best friend. I had no answers. I was completely lost. And he had detached himself from me. He wouldn't watch or couldn't watch me destroy myself with the meth. I called him. I knew his mother had something to do with a drug and alcohol counselor or something similar to that. And he called her and he said, yeah, she's willing to meet with you. And I had no idea what this meeting was going to involve. So we went over to the church that he told us to go to. And boy, that night was a scary night, dark, rainy, windy. We got to the church, and I was completely afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen in this church. It literally took my wife 10 minutes to convince me to not carry my gun into the church, that I would be okay. So into the church we went. We found the place we were to be, and we walked in, and the group was singing the song Amazing Grace. Now, mind you, I was completely fearful of everybody and everything. So I abruptly took my seat, sat down, and started listening to this song. As the song went on, I started crying. And by the end of the song, I was blubbering uncontrollably. Just couldn't control myself. My wife was with me in that meeting.
That was the night that I gave my life to the Lord. Didn't even know I did it. But when I did, I asked Carrie, I says, what is that feeling going from head to toe? She says, Marie, that's the Holy Spirit. And I've been changed ever since. From a 31-year drug user, rebelliousness, and alcoholic, I'm set free.
You know, those first couple weeks of sobriety wasn't easy, but Carrie just mothered us. Every day she would call us and check how we were doing and monitoring our progress. We did all we could do to get to the meetings and get to Sunday church, and that seemed like a lot back then, you know, but we did it, and yeah, here we are today, 9 years later, clean and sober, no desire to use meth or cocaine, alcohol. We attend Belfair Assembly of God and have been attending there for 4 years now. My wife leads the Celebrate Recovery group, and I secretary for her. Our church has accepted us for who we are. They've given us a place to meet, and we have senior pastoral support, which is huge. We've seen a lot of lives changed within Celebrate Recovery. Our lives have changed within Celebrate Recovery. We've grown. We've gotten more insight to our own addictions. I found purpose in serving.
Well, I just remember coming into Had Ministries that first night with my husband, and we were both broken, and when we first walked in that door, they were singing Amazing Grace, and I looked at everybody, and I knew that we were home. We were where we needed to be. And sat down, sang the song with everybody, and the tears just flowed. I hadn't cried in years, and that night I was delivered, and I have chose to stay sober ever since. And it isn't that hard. It really isn't. You know, you just keep going to the meetings. They're fun. You know, and that's our date night, mine and my husband's. That's what we call our date night, is once a week, and then we go to church, and we just enjoy the worship together, you know, and that's the life that we've chosen for one another. And then we've come to Belfair Assembly and got involved in Celebrate Recovery. And it's quite amazing where we've been. That's just through the walk that God's given us. And Carrie, I think, gave us life. It was her showing us the Lord, the thirst that we had to be baptized after that. Oh gosh, God is great. God is great.